Hello and welcome back to another video in our series where we are going on a journey to install all the desktop environments that are available in the official Arch repositories. And for that we are using the desktop environment article on the Arch wiki. And this article is good because it has this list of officially supported desktop environments in alphabetical order. So that's how I am going through, and today's episode is going to be the Mate desktop, which is intuitive and attractive desktop to Linux users using traditional metaphors, which is started as a fork of Gnome 2, uses GTK3, but kind of tries to be the spiritual continuation of this Gnome 2 desktop. And if we are taking a look at the installation instructions, it tells us that the Mate group contains the core desktop environment, which is required for the standard Mate experience, but we can have a base desktop only installing these three packages: Marco, Mate Panel, and Mate Session Manager. And if we take a look at the Mate group, it will tell us that Marco is the window manager, and the panel, Mate Panel, is the panel, and the Mate Session Manager is handling the desktop session. So if you have like probably a different file manager maybe, or maybe you don't want the themes to be installed, you could just install these three packages and then pick and choose all the other components. But I think here we can just go and install the Mate group because it doesn't contain much more than what we actually need. So sudo pacman-s mate, and it just generally having the control center. Okay, everything? Yes, we could choose not to install Kaha, for example, if you don't want the Mate file manager, but we are now just going to install everything here. And we'll wait until it installs, and then we will log into the system. But I wanted to just say that based on this list, this is not a long list, and it's probably a better idea to install the theme and the control center for your desktop environment. Why would you want to use a different control center if you are using Mate? Maybe you know, and if you don't like the Kaha file manager, you can just uninstall it later. So let me get back to you once I've finished the installation and I'm logged into the Mate desktop environment. Alright, so we are successfully booted into the Mate desktop environment, and I am sold. I like this green to blue gradient background, the green icons, all the green icons inside the file manager as well. So what we have here is a very similar layout that we had in the GNOME flashback, so I guess this is also something that it's supposed to look like GNOME 2 with the applications menu and places to go like in the file system, I guess, and also some system related menus here in the top left corner. In the top right we have the clock with the calendar and the network manager applet, and in the bottom right corner we have the desktop switcher with 4 virtual desktops set up and an icon to hide all the active windows over there. So our default file manager is the Kaha file manager, which is almost as good as Nemo from the Cinnamon desktop. It is nice. The default theme looks fine, and this kind of application menu, for my taste, a little too old school, but many people like this layout. So let's go to our control center here, and this is a very simple control center. It is divided into sections, similarly how it is done on the Cinnamon desktop environment. And what we have here is, of course, all the hardware settings, and we can set keyboard shortcuts, a lot of keyboard shortcuts actually, for tiling windows and moving windows around. And we have, of course, the network settings. Appearance is going to be one of the most important things we will take a look at. But first, let's go here. What is it? About me. So here you can set up your own user. So change your, icon, or what is it? Profile picture. Can you change your name? I don't think so. You can change your password though. We have file management. So this is going to be the same as if you open the file manager, I guess. So if you open a file manager and go to the preferences, that is going to be the same but we can access it from our control center. So look and feel. This is the appearance menu. Here we have a few themes that come with the Mate desktop environment by default. So if you want a dark theme, then you can have the black Mate, or if you want this kind of more bluish look, I guess the blue submarine will do it for you maybe. But to be honest, the green Laguna, it's not the kind of green I like. So for me, the default theme with the Menta themes, I like green, but I don't want too much green. Maybe if I could just have the title of the window also green, that would be nice. But anyways, so we can change the backgrounds here. And what is really nice is this is actually vertical gradient. So as you might want to change the colors of this for some reason, but do it with a better taste than I have, because then it won't look good. The same you can do with this Mate backgrounds here is that if you change, so I already changed this, I was playing around a little off camera, so you can change it to, whatever color combination your heart desires, which is a nice touch, I guess. And a lot of other, of course you cannot do this with the photographic backgrounds, but a lot of these abstract backgrounds, you can change the colors if you have a good sense of color, which I definitely don't have. So we can set up show icons in menus, file chooser. So file chooser is, which is going to open, this is not the file manager itself, but kind of a window that will open when you want to, add the new wallpaper, for example. You can customize it here. What else do we have? In the control center, the Windows option will help you customize the window decorations and things like that. So you could change, you can raise selected windows just by hovering your mouse over them. So that is a possibility if you want to save clicks or something. Double click on the title bar, you can change that. You can change the Alt Tab behavior, so only icons, or you want to show also thumbnails of the windows behind the icons, or do you want the windows to be highlighted like this while you are tabbing around. So these are all very nice things to set up here. What we need to also take a look at is kind of preferred applications. So we have a browser, we don't have Mail Reader or Instant Messenger. We don't have an image viewer, but we don't have a terminal emulator yet. We have the simple terminal installed, but I think we don't have a desktop file for the simple terminal, so that's why it's not going to show up over there. What else do we have here is, in the places, there are, I think that's fine. So what we don't have here, so we have logout and we have switch user, but we don't have a lock screen. So I guess if you could just, maybe just go to the switch user screen, and that's kind of like your lock screen. So in this case, maybe do we have the Light Locker installed here? I don't remember, but I use the Light DM for Login Manager, so that would be my guess. But anyways, so we don't have a screensaver specifically for Mate here. What we have is two panels, so let's see what we can add to these panels. There is Custom Application Launcher, which lets you run any kind of command, so I could add the simple terminal here and, find an icon for this, which I am not really sure if we can find. So in the apps category, what do we have? Do we have system monitor? Yeah, maybe put it. Yeah, okay. So now I have the icon for a terminal. So this way I can at least run ST from there, even though it does not have its own icon. So I could do the application launcher, but I won't find the simple terminal here because it does not have the desktop file associated with it. But you could add like a Mate color selector for there. And we can just remove these from the panel by right-clicking them. What else do we have? Let's go back. Classic menu. So this is the classic menu. All these three things are part of the classic menu. The compact menu is, it's just a button, and it looks a little more like your general menu that you get in many desktop environments. We have do not disturb fish, force quit logout. So run application by typing a command or choosing from a list. So that is also, if you have a lot of terminal application, and now it brings it up. So you could run a command in terminal. So of course it won't work at the moment because the default terminal is not yet set up. But this is kind of that run command. I think maybe Windows 95 had a run command like that, and many Linux desktop environments will give you one too. Okay, so Windows selector, window list. Switch between open windows using a menu. So how does this look like? Okay, this is kind of a very weird implementation for changing windows. Now let's see what we can customize on this one. So can we customize this? Okay, let's go to panel properties, I guess. No, we cannot customize. Okay, so if I add like a Windows selector, no, this one, the window list here. So how can I select? Okay. Move preferences. All right. Window list preferences. Never group windows. Group windows when space is limited. Always group windows. That is going to be nice. Show windows from current workspace or show from all workspaces. Restore to native workspace. Restore to. So this is kind of the behavior that you have on different workspaces, but you cannot, and the groupings, but you cannot just switch it to like an icon toolbar or icon, what is it called? Icon task lists, some kind of thing. You have to go with this classical icon and the title type of task list. So now I think we've done everything that we could in our default Mate installation. So it would be time for us to go and install the Mate extras, which according to the ArchWiki will contain a little more functionality, a little more extra programs than the the Mate group. So if we take a look at this, will contain more, I guess, an extension to quickly set wallpapers, notebook, power manager, screensaver, system monitor, and the terminal. So of course at the moment we don't have a terminal application installed, so I will have to just magically open ST somehow and install the Mate extra group, and once it's installed I will be back with you. So I created a custom application launcher here to be able to start ST and install the Mate extras, a group which is currently just installing all these utilities on our system. So we are expecting to, get the new icons in our menu over there, which are they going to appear? Yes, you can see that they started already to appear here. We have, I guess, document viewer, a dictionary. We have the Eye of Mate image viewers, and we have archive manager, this is the first time I see ngrumpa archive manager, screenshot tool. So we have a screenshot tool. Grab the current window. It's very simple, but also kind of intuitive. So it's Yeah, not really complicated. It's a very simple and useful, I guess, screenshot application. For some reason, every desktop environment nowadays comes with a screenshot tool. That's not a problem. That's just interesting. Now we have a lock screen specific to Mate. Hopefully, this might not work because we might have to, I guess we might have to reboot the system for that to work. So let's take a quick look at something else like the Mate calculator, which is... So one of the important things for a calculator for me is that, well, no one should use a calculator by clicking on these buttons. There is no reason to emulate on your desktop a calculator that you would use on the desk, and you would press these numbers on with your fingers, because you have the number pad on your keyboard most probably, which you should use for it. So 25 times minus 2. And this works, so you can have negative numbers just by pressing the minus key or the dash key on your keyboard, which is already more than what the Windows calculator can do. So I guess that is nice. Search tool Pluma, I guess Pluma is going to be our simple text editor. And we don't really have much. We have the sound, which is, I guess, you can have a sound theme, so whenever something happens, your computer will make some sounds for that. Alright, so let me restart the system so we can take a look at the lock screen program. Alright, so I rebooted the system, and before I take a look at the lock screen, or maybe let's take a look at the lock screen first, but we also have to take a look at the we'll leave message. Hello, I was at your computer. So what happens now? So if the screen went dark, but now if I move my mouse again and say, let's type in my password, we got the message. Hello, I was at your computers. Great, very good. This is an interesting functionality, and might be even useful in some cases. So we have the terminal, Mate terminal, finally installed here. Just wondering why is the font dark. That's kind of weird, but I guess we could probably change that somehow. Colors. No, because of the system theme, I guess. So text color should be white and the background should be dark. Yay, okay, so now we have a nicely colored terminal. What else can we do? Mate system monitor and also power statistics. I don't know what power statistic we can get in a virtual machine, but you can see the virtual CPU history and memory and also the network use, so I guess that's good. So these are kind of not much things here. Logfile viewer, that might be used for pacman log and xorg log. You don't really have the system journal here, unfortunately. So these are mostly useful tools, I guess. Disk image mounter, if you want to access virtual disk images on your system. The disk usage analyzer is always useful because my disk always fills up. And so I guess this is the end of today's episode. We've took a look at the Mate desktop environment and its most common applications it comes with, and you can make your own judgment. I kind of liked it. I'm not really a big fan of this Gnome 2 style of the panels and things, and I definitely don't like this kind of application menu that much, but it's not bad. It is interesting. The theming is nice, but it's not like you couldn't just use this theme on any other desktop environment. But anyways, so I know there are big fans of the Mate desktop environment, so let me not talk anything bad about it for now. This is how you get the multi-desktop for Arch Linux. And if you want to see more of this content, I have already reviewed or checked out a lot of other desktop environments on Arch Linux, and I will keep doing it until I get to the end of the alphabet. So if you enjoyed this video, give a like, subscribe for more content, and come back for the future episodes of my journey and, sharing my experience with things on Arch Linux. And I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.